She brought out a good point.
Last question, yes.
She brought out a good point. I'm a product of K through 12 higher education. I graduated from high school at 14. I know Pell, I know Ronald E. McNair Postbaccalaureate, NIH, all of that. I'm a teacher. I came out of the scientific field being a pharmaceutical chemist at Pfizer Twin Labs to be an educator. Okay, I have my master's and I'm working on my doctorate in education, my EDD. Just like what she said, they don't pay you for anything.
Right.
I had a conversation today with a lady down in the district here that said my degree, my EDD degree, was not going to be worth anything. My degree is in teacher leadership. That means I'm going to train another teacher and also for me to inform myself as a practicing practitioner in education to be a better teacher. The purpose while we're here is not about who is an effective teacher. It's nothing like that. What the problem is the people creating the laws that become outdated. I came here purposely today, and this is where I was meant to be here today. 1998, a law was created that stated teachers would get their loans forgiven for working at a Title I school. I slaved 7 years at a Title I school. Every year I called and I said, has the laws changed? Has the laws changed? Upon completing my 6th year, they told me my loans will not be forgiven because I had a loan out prior to 1998. My question to you is this. I went to Howard University in Washington, D.C., okay? And I completed my degree in 3 years, BS in bio and chemistry. Now, how can I pay back $17,000 in 6 months?
That's right.
Answer me that question.
That's right.
Impossible on a teacher's salary. Impossible. I went to New York to teach for America because they had shortage in New York. You tell me, where's the help for us? She said a point, Dr. Rad said something poignant. 60s, 70s, and 80s, those teachers had their loan forgiven. And they're the people now that are in the Department of Education making these laws, and they're no longer in the classrooms. I am. So I know what's going on here. It's the people that you guys vote in that create those laws. You have a governor that is a felon. Those that cannot take care of themselves. And that's what we're having problems now. People talking about cutting health for those who need it. The children need it. I'm an educator. I was educated. I'm a child that now is a woman that can see for myself that the people that create the laws, you people here sitting here, you're not in the drudgery of every single day seeing children come to you. No food. If they're ESC, I'm talking first person, what I see. I'm not talking about you guys third person. I'm talking about me. This is not it. You need to go like those teachers in Wisconsin. You march all the way there to Tallahassee and tell that gentleman there in his nice big castle, you're not it. Move on. Have him resign like you had Art Johnson resign.
All right. Let me wrap up with a couple of observations. Let me just make a couple of observations. First of all, and this is really important. I know that there are, and we heard them debated. I know that there are differences of opinion between Dr. Ravitch and Michael on some very fundamental issues. Some of them, Michael, if you had more time to explain, probably aren't as great as they seem, but there are differences. But let me tell you this, and this is how I'd like to close this evening, and tell you that we definitely need to do this again. Let me tell you this. I served in the Florida State Senate, and for 4 years in the Florida State Senate, we had debates every single year about funding for education, about corporate tax credits given to help take kids out of public schools instead of giving credits to invest in our public schools. I was involved in debates about expanding voucher programs, expanding the importance of FCAT, and those debates went on year after year, and there is no one who was as frustrated as you are than me. I get it. But I want to make this point. Michael, for all of the reasons that Diane, for all the differences that Diane and Michael might have, Michael Uden is not here representing Governor Rick Scott. And I understand, listen, I understand the frustration. And if there is anything that we're to take from tonight, it is that, number one, the way that we've gone about using the FCAT in this state as the be-all and end-all of our education system to determine what teachers get paid, how much teachers get paid, to have a system that has diagnostic tests to prepare for the diagnostic test, to prepare for the FCAT. That in that system, where, who's the math teachers? Right, no, they're great. Listen, I know, having just gone through this with a high school student, that there aren't enough computers for the kids to take the exam, and so they had to sit and watch movies and wait until those kids finish taking the exam. The problem starts with the educational policy coming out of Tallahassee. If there is one, listen, and I want to make this point strenuously, having now spent time serving in Washington, there is no comparison between the government that we have in our state legislature and in the governor's mansion, what we have in Tallahassee, and the Obama administration. There is absolutely nothing in common when it comes to taking the whole approach. We can debate testing, the extent of testing, and how it's used all night long. But I can tell you that in terms of the commitment to making sure that we deal with not just the test, but we deal with the way that kids are prepared when they come to school and what they have at home, and making sure that parents have an opportunity to provide, and making sure that we focus on Medicaid and Medicare, and make sure that we have the ability to lift up an entire community, that there is no comparison. I understand fully the frustration that the people in this room, all of you have, with the way things are done in Tallahassee as it relates to public education. I share that. And as we go forward, we will continue to have these debates about the extent of testing and how testing is used. I can tell you one thing that we all agree on, and that includes the administration, and that includes Michael. That is that the way that this current government and this current administration in Tallahassee is focused on testing at the expense of everything else is not in the best interest of our kids. It's not in the best interest of this state. It's certainly not in the best interest of our teachers. That's where we have to continue to focus to make changes. Look, you're right. We do have to worry about the people that we elect, and we have to hold them accountable, and that's really important. I thought it would be worth doing this event tonight so that you can start to express this frustration that we heard. I get it. I understand it. I share it. And I hope as we leave here that we move forward, in a way that will permit us to take this passion that's in this room tonight, because we don't see this all the time. I don't see this all the time.
How do we change it?
I'm sorry?
How do we change it?
Right. This is exactly what I expected, frankly. This is exactly the kind of reaction. This is why we did this. We're gonna do this again. I'm gonna encourage you to take that passion you have and stay engaged, and don't just come to events that we do. Go see every elected official you have and tell them why this matters so much, and tell them how concerned you are as parents, as teachers, as PTA members, as retired teachers, as PTA officers. Tell them why this matters to you. That's how we will start to change it. I can't thank you enough for sharing the passion, and in some cases, a lot of cases, the frustration, and in some cases, the anger that so many of you are feeling. It is that passion that's going to help to move this education debate forward in the state. Thank you for bringing it here tonight, and thank you for sharing everything.